Hello everyone, it is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. And in this video, I am going to be talking about my day today, July 11th, 2019. We're currently streaming from Huntsville, Alabama at 8 p.m. Let's get this show started. Today, I've been learning a lot about CSS, or cascading style scripts. I believe no cascading style sheets. My bad. I completed about 23 or so. It would have to be more than 23. I think 29. I completed 29 CSS tutorials on w3schools.com. As a part of my job, I have to learn a whole bunch of new stuff that I've never used before. And it's been interesting so far. I also finished up some HTML tutorials that I had started working on yesterday, and I finally finished up today. But I have to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Docker, Postgres, Golang eventually. There are just a lot of different languages and tools that I need to learn how to use for my job, and I have 2 weeks to try and get as much knowledge under my belt before I start working. Yo, Shuri Chan and Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Shuri Chan said, Yoish. Ryan said, hi, Jet, duel me. Yoish, back to you, Shuri Chan. I don't know what Yoish means. Is that like yo with like a kinda? Like kinda, sorta yo? Because it's yo-ish. And then with the Hey Jet Duel Me, probably not tonight. I'm actually thinking more about creative writing stuff than I am thinking about like gaming right now. That being said, I was thinking about making a custom Yu-Gi-Oh archetype at some point that's like a chaos based archetype. I think I was gonna call it like Chaos Fuel or something like that. And the idea is you can banish two monsters that are two Chaos Fuel monsters, one light, one dark from your deck, in order to special summon a Chaos Fuel monster from your hand. All of them would have an ability that said that, and then all of them would have an ability that they could activate when banished by the effect of another Chaos Fuel monster. And that was going to be the gimmick. I just haven't made it yet, but that was going to be the main idea of the deck. So it allows you to banish Chaos Fuel monsters, one light, one dark from your deck, to special summon them from your hand, and then when they're banished from the deck by another Chaos Fuel monster's effect, you get like an effect from that as well. Let's see. Shuri-chan said, I'm drawing Son Goku. Yo-ish is my way of saying hello. Learned it by Goku. Okay, cool. Then Dozer said early vlog. It's not too early. I've started doing them around 8 p.m. now, so that I'm able to go to bed by 10. And it still gives me an hour after the vlog to kind of relax. But yo, Dozer, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Ryan said, I've been watching. No, sorry. He said, I've been reading the manga. Woo. I tried to interact with the live chat on my phone, and it's like, are you trying to report a user? And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to scroll through the chat. Ryan said, I've been reading the manga for Yu-Gi-Oh! To lead into watching Dark Side of Dimensions. Oh, that's pretty dope. Real quick, let me get the live dashboard set up on my computer so I can stop trying to interact with the vlog on the screen because I feel like I'm going to mess it up. Dozer said, was just used to the 12 a.m. vlogs. Understandable, and you're right. We used to do these at midnight all the time. Shuri-chan said, gotta go. I'll probably be back. Okay, see you when you get back, Shuri-chan. Hope you have a wonderful night. Let's see. Ryan said, Kaiba just got his blue eye stolen by Pegasus in their duel before the Duelist Kingdom finals. Okay, so you're letting us know where you are in that story so far. Shuri-chan said, I hope the stream won't end. Probably won't end until, the normal end time. The stream should go minimum for an hour. Also, probably maximum for an hour. Matt said, stop being bad at writing. He then said, no, 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 which is in preparation for this question. Hey, Matt, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you like to talk about on the stream? Speaking of writing, I've been doing a lot of pre-writing recently, trying to essentially write out notes and outline my stories before I write them. And I have now pre-written 4 superhero short stories, all featuring the same superhero going up against different villains. And now that I finish outlining those 4 stories, I'm actually simultaneously writing all 4 stories. So I'm writing like the first part of like a story, and then writing the first part of each of the other stories, and then going back to the top, and then writing the second part of the first story, and then writing the second part for like the next one, and so on and so forth, so that they'll all be finished around the same time. Matt said, actually trying to put effort into a story? Wow. And then he said, no. He said, you are doing well. Please stop. I don't understand what you dislike about it, Matt. Why can't I write all of them at once? Because they're all already outlined. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I got mixed up. Just refer to the outline of whatever story you're currently writing, but you can be like at the same amount of progress for each story if you do it like that. I don't think it's that bad. It kind of lets me like mass produce them a little bit faster because they're all already pre-written, so I can just. And then Matt said no because then bleed will happen. So please explain your concept of bleed. Based on what you've said, I imagine you mean that all the stories will end up being somewhat similar because of the fact that I'm doing all of them more or less at the same time, where you would prefer me to finish one story so that maybe after finishing it, I would have built up new ideas to then make the next story different and the next story different, so on and so forth. But I feel like I kind of get that from doing the pre writing of each one separately. You know what I mean? I'm actually really excited for the most recent story that I've like pre-written, aka outlined out. It's called Maker Man versus Power Down, and it's really dope. Yo, John Mason, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Also, I noticed that the stream already has 1 like. Thank you kindly. Truly appreciate it. Um, but the most recent villain that I've written up is Power Down, and Power Down has 2 powers. And then John Mason said, that was me. Thank you for the like, John Mason. Truly appreciate it. He said, I just liked it. So Power Down. Oh, wait. Before I go into Power Down, Matt hit me up with another question. Or maybe a statement. I don't see a question mark at the end. Matt said, but since you are currently writing them, it means you're likely to go against the notes when you are writing. Matt then said, also, did someone say a like? Yep, we got 1 like on the video so far. Thank you kindly, John Mason, for smashing that like button. Truly appreciate it. Ryan asked me a question about currency. No comment. I don't really have much in mind when it comes to currency. Matt then said, time for a dislike, if you feel that way. Then John Mason said, Matt, you never cease to exist. I don't even know what that means. Matt then said, oh man, we have 2 now. Can we get it to 2 likes? John Mason then said, I will get my revenge. And then Matt said, correct. And then afterwards he said, not correct. He changed his mind. Matt said, 3 dislikes. He said, keep the train going. Ryan then said, Matt not dead confirmed. I don't think anyone thought Matt was dead. Matt then said, can we get 4 dislikes? Can we get 4 likes? I think that'd be pretty dope. John Mason said, anyone that disliked this video will be destroyed by Nick. That's just not true. I just wouldn't do that. Oh, Power Down, the villain I was going to tell you guys about. So Power Down is a villain that I came up with today. Oh, well, Matt real quick hit me up with another thing in the live chat. He said, Jet can't even kill people on a rail. Well, I just have no interest in really killing anyone. Ryan then said, we can get 4 if I switch to the other account. Trying to stack them up, I see. John Mason said, Matt versus Nick. It's just on the down low. That was a surprising setup. It doesn't sound like a fight. Are you saying it's like a secret fight? Like, shh, about to throw hands. Nani said, is this Nick? Yo, Nani, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Let's see. Matt said, right now, not Oh, I see. Originally, I thought it was an M. It's an RN. Now I am aware. Thank you, Matt. John Mason said, like how Matt is all like dislikes and you're all like likes. Well, yeah, I mean that makes sense. Matt likes to hate on stuff, and of course I'd be like, hey, if you guys like it, I'd really appreciate a like. John Mason said, but what are you talking about though? Oh, so I've been writing a series of superhero short stories called Superpower Battles. I've published 2 volumes of Superpower Battles so far, and right now I'm writing up volume 3. I want to tell you guys about a new villain that I came up with earlier today called Power Down. But I'm trying to also make sure I read through the live chat and don't get too far behind. So I'll eventually tell you guys about Power Down if you guys are interested. Matt said, because Jet gets too many likes. Eh, sometimes we get some likes. It's not all the time. Also, I just realized I still have it on top chat instead of live chat. So hopefully I haven't missed too many messages. Let's see. Ryan said, have you seen Young Justice episode 9? I have seen the most recent episode of Young Justice. I was surprised that they didn't release 3 episodes. They only released 1. I thought they released 3 every week, but I guess they're not doing that. Uh, it's good. The show's good. I don't have any complaints. I do think the way that they're conveying social media superheroes is kind of weird. I don't really know how I feel about it. It seems like something I'd do if I was kind of unaware of how social media worked, and I was just like, oh, yeah, that's exactly how this is. You know, a lot of stuff just seems very plot convenienced for how they portray social media in Young Justice. It just feels kind of awkward. Let's see. Nani said, I'm trying to draw a character, like a made up one. Cool. I hope you have fun drawing your character. Um, I actually also have a character that I made up that I want to share with you guys, but I want to wait until you guys show interest. If you guys aren't particularly interested in it, then I won't talk about him, I guess. But I do think you guys will be interested in what his powers are. Matt then said no. Nani said, who disliked? Matt did, I believe, so far. John Mason said, I'm assuming that Power Down is based on Matt. He is not based on Matt. I can confirm that. Then Ryan corrected himself to say episode 17. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't keep track with the exact numbering. I just assumed that you were on it. Matt said, I am your senpai. Get the facts right. John Mason said, you are my rival. Nothing more, nothing less. Matt then said, also Jet, would you ever make me in the image of my main motif of shadows/darkness? Do you mean write a story that specifically features you in it with your motif of shadows and darkness? I mean, I don't think I would write a story that had you specifically in it. If you're asking would I ever write a story with a character that had like shadow darkness style powers, sure. But the way that these like Silver Age superhero stories are kind of set up, there isn't a lot of characterization. You know what I mean? Maybe I could have the dialogue be somewhat similar to things you would say, but I don't even describe characters' appearances or what characters like normal like secret identity lives are like. Like none of my characters are like Clark Kent types. They essentially are the equivalent of like I guess how My Hero portrays heroes, where it's like there isn't really a secret identity. It's like you're that nigga. Well, that's not true. All Might has a secret identity. Is he like the only one? Everyone else just seems like they're a hero like all the time. Maybe they do have secret identities. I actually don't even know. I don't know if My Hero Academia characters have secret identities. That's actually really interesting. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at? John Mason said, this is the last time we shall see each other, Matt. Then Matt said, okay. Then he said, Jet, please read the comment properly. He said, this was not a question. Oh, Matt actually said, also, Jet would only ever make me in the image of my main motif of shadow/darkness. Why do you feel so confident about that? You were like, there's no possibility that Jet could ever not do my shadow darkness thing. I could have. That's interesting. John Mason said, "Oh, so it's a demand, huh?" No, it's a statement. Matt said it was a statement in regards to John Mason. John Mason said, "You dare demand Nick space A Benson Jr.?" Then he said, "Three dislikes?" Question marks. Then Matt said, "How is he a junior?" With no question marks. John Mason said, "Matt, this is your doing." Then Matt said, "Four dislikes?" Ryan said, "I went and got that fourth dislike." John Mason said, "You will pay." Matt said, "I am only responsible for one." Then John Mason said, "You?" Oh, but are you guys interested in hearing about the villain idea that I came up with, Power Down, and what his powers are? Ryan said most heroes in My Hero Academia would be like Beast Boy, which have no real way or need of having secret identities. See, that's what I think. That's what I think for My Hero Academia. But I don't know, because I don't read the manga. So I don't know if at any point in the manga there are characters who are like, yeah, and when I take off my costume, I just chill. I'm just like a nigga. Because they could. It's just in the anime, I haven't seen anyone do the secret identity thing other than All Might. But he's like, I have a reason. He's like, not only do I look significantly different when I like become All Might, but also I'm just kind of fucked. Like if I don't keep it a secret. John Mason said yes. Then Matt said no. Ryan then said they have public personas. And then Matt said All Might is technically a secret. Well, that's what I was saying. I think All Might's like the only secret one I know of. I could be wrong, but off the top of my head, I don't know anyone else whose secret identity. Well, anyone else who has a secret identity in My Hero. They all have like costumes and shit, but it seems like people for the most part just know who they are. And it also seems like people for the most part are just heroes all the time. Like they're like, that's how I make money. So it's not like I'm working like a day job. You know what I mean? It's an interesting setup. Plus, their identities do seem like they're public knowledge. Like how Ryan said they have public personas. It does seem like people just know who they are, just regularly. Mm. Which do you guys prefer personally? Powerade or Gatorade? Ryan said, but everyone knows about his weak sauce side now. That is true. That definitely is true. John Mason said, I guess Spider Man will fit right in there. Then Matt said, yes and no. I'm not sure if he's referring to John Mason's comment or Ryan's comment. We will see. Nani then said, those bastards. Matt said, I don't know if they technically know he's Toshinori. And then Nani said, hey. um, oh, but Nani, would you like to tell us more about the character you're drawing? Also, what is everyone up to tonight? And is anyone interested in learning about the character Power Down or not? John Mason said, I prefer red Gatorade over all Powerades, but the purple Powerade over the other Gatorades. That's interesting. Then John Mason said, I'm working a lot. I believe lemon lime Gatorade is my favorite. Matt then said, D&D. And then he said, you must learn the lore. I don't know why, but when you mentioned D&D, I remembered that I've discovered a new YouTube channel that I've been watching. I discovered them today, and it's pretty dope. It's called Comic Book University. I don't necessarily agree with the guy who runs the channel. Like I don't, our opinions don't always line up when he talks about different comic books. But he essentially just reviews comics on YouTube, and he's pretty cool. I like his content. Like I said, I don't agree with his opinions all the time. He seems to either love everything he reads, or if he doesn't like something, it's normally like a hard dislike. But then he'll still more or less recommend the book. He'll be like, this book wasn't for me. I just didn't really fuck with it. Only like one character. You should check it out. Like, or he'll be like, this book scared the shit out of me. This writer needs to calm down. I felt very uncomfortable with this book. You can find it now at your local comic book store. It's. I don't think I've yet to see a review where he's like, I just really don't fuck with this book. You know what I mean? I think the closest I've seen is he read Giant Size Ecstatics #1. He was like, if you don't like ecstatics already, there's no reason to read this book. And then there was a Spider-Man comic where he's like, it was too scary for me to recommend, which to me just sounds like a recommendation. To like, imagine if you saw a horror movie and you're like, it's so scary, I can't recommend you go see it. If you like horror movies, you'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go see it. That sounds like exactly what I want. John Mason said, Matt, one day when you call to me to save you, I will have to think twice. Then Matt said, I would never do that. And then he said, Jet, I'm not a one note hater. Who said you were a one note hater? Ryan said, on KC, which I guess is Kaiba Corp. No, no, no. Kiss Cartoon. Or is it Kim Cartoon? Kim Cartoon. There we go. He said on Kim Cartoon, they added a separate page for Craig of the Creek Season 2. I might have missed some episodes. I rewatched the D&D episodes. I'm glad that you're still vibing with Craig of the Creek. There's a new Saint Seiya CGI anime that's coming to Netflix, which I'm kind of interested in. Ryan said, not Ryan, Matt said, at most, my hatred is an exaggeration. So where do you feel like your hatred truly falls on the scale? Or I guess your distaste truly falls on the scale? Like if you feel like you're playing it up to be on the high end, if we take away the hype, where is it actually at? John Mason said his hatred falls on me. That was interesting. Also, I noticed we now have two likes. Thank you for smashing that like button. Truly appreciate it. Then John Mason said it is understandable. Then Beth said, "Can y'all fill me in on the convo?" So the conversation kind of seems to be changing. John Mason is talking about how he doesn't really care for Matt. Matt's talking about how he over exaggerates his dislike for things. Ryan is talking about Craig of the Creek. Nani was talking about how he felt weird that there were so many dislikes on the video and now he was working on his own character. Rocky Ford just popped in and said, hi there. He's doing good today. What have you been doing today? And he wants to talk about Toy Story 4. Welcome to the stream, Rocky Ford. It's good to have you. I'm glad that you're having a good day today. I've mainly just been doing work. I now have like a job, so I work like 8 hours a day. And I've been watching some YouTube and writing. That's about it. I actually have a new villain character that I'd like to talk to you guys about. And I haven't seen Toy Story 4 yet, but I've heard it's pretty good. Matt says that his distaste is probably about average. Like he feels like a lot of the things that he hates on, he kind of feels meh about. But in reality, well, no, in reality he feels meh. But then he hypes it up and exaggerates it, and it seems like a bigger thing than it actually is. John Mason says he sees 3 likes. I've noticed that for the viewers, you guys normally see 1 more like than there actually is. From my perspective, I only see 2 likes. Let's see. John Mason said, Beth, basically, we are figuring out how to execute Matt, which I don't think is true. Beth said, I don't even know Matt. You've met Matt like twice, actually. When we first met, Matt was there, and Matt was also at ChargerCon. Nani then said, can you show how she looks? I believe Nani is referring to the character that he is creating. Are you going to post an image of it on Amino? John Mason said, good, you won't feel any remorse then. Ryan said, I don't even know Beth. Ryan also met Beth at ChargerCon. Matt said, have fun executing a hand. That's a reference to Matt's nickname, Mr. Hand. Then Beth said, I look like a meme. And then she said, wait, I am a meme. Then Matt said, from my perspective, the viewers are evil. How so? Then Beth said, I don't remember Matt Scrub, which is an interesting response. Matt said, now Toy Story 4, I actually sort of dislike a bit. So Matt, did you see Toy Story 4, or do you dislike it based off of the premise of its existence? John Mason said, Nick, I might be moving to Canada in 2 years, so I'll probably be able to hit you up. But I don't live in Canada. You'll be a lot closer. That's true. But it was interesting that you were like, now that I'm in Canada, yeah, but it would also just be like a big trip. It would just be less of a big trip, to get to me. but that's true. Nani said, should I post it on Amino? If you want to, then yeah. John Mason said, make sure Matthew is there though. Also, Nani, if you do post it to the Amino, can you post the Amino link in the live chat? A lot of times you guys will have stuff on Amino that you want me to see, and then you'll be like, hey, can you go to Amino? And then I have to pull it up. If you just send me the Amino link, I can just immediately access it. It's just a lot easier. John Mason said, make sure Matt is there though, when he comes by from Canada. Matt said, Jet, the perspective comment was a Star Wars reference. And he said, also, I have seen Toy Story 4. Also, Matt, thank you for explaining your own references. And would you like to elaborate on why you dislike Toy Story 4 without spoiling it? That'd be great. Beth said, I gotta go. Cousin's at my house. I just wanted to pop in for a hot minute. Well, thank you for tuning in, Beth, and I hope you have a wonderful night. I'll text you after the stream. John Mason said, I didn't fancy Spider-Man much, but everything to do with the villain is amazing. He said, like the visuals, I mean, amazing. And then he said, later, Beth. So I did see Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm not going to spoil anything. I thought the movie was okay. I think it starts kind of slow, and it doesn't pick up until you truly... there's essentially a reveal where you suddenly start to understand the villain and the villain's motivations and what their actual plan is. Once that reveal hits, the movie picks up. You're suddenly like, oh shit, now things make a little bit more sense. But before that point, I just feel like the movie just isn't really that good. It's just not really that good at all. I also feel like there are certain moments in Spider-Man Far From Home that I feel like either don't make sense or they could have done differently. Um, and I also feel like if Spider-Man Far From Home was a little bit different, um, Spider-Man would have just died, as well as like his whole family. Like his family and friends should have just died. Um, I feel that way even now with how the story currently is. But again, no spoilers. It's an okay movie. I definitely recommend seeing it. It's not bad. It picks up near the middle. I just think the beginning is kind of blah. And it's not a perfect movie, but it's definitely worth watching. And then that's my review of Spider-Man Far From Home. I give it 2 stars out of 3. Rocky Ford said, in Toy Story 2, Al McWiggin fell asleep and spilled his cheese puffs, or Cheetos, whatever you want to call them. And what a waste on that. What a very specific moment from the Toy Story franchise to highlight in a comment. I do indeed remember that. That becomes a plot point in the movie. Nani said, I posted it. Are you going to post a link to it in the live chat so I can just easily just click on it and go straight there? Ryan said, that business at ChargerCon doesn't count. Did you put a quote at the end of what you said, but not the beginning, Ryan? Then Matt said, no, spoilers are integral. Then John Mason said, yeah, it was okay. Then Matt said, spoil Spider-Man. Then John Mason said, yeah, that reveal was great, lol. And then Matt said, but Mysterio is always evil, so... But this is alternate universe Mysterio. He's a good guy. Haven't you seen the trailers? John Mason said, yeah, we know. But I watched it from the perspective of someone that didn't know. Didn't know what? That Mysterio's a good guy? From the trailers? Then Ryan said, I haven't seen the movie. And then John Mason said, exactly, I agree. Then Kel said, hey, yo, Kels, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on this stream? John Mason said, hey, Mr. Kels. Matt said, oh, hey, an unintentional spoiler from me. I haven't even seen the movie. Then Nani said, I can't do that. I'm using the app. What? What? Can you not from the app get the links to this stuff? That actually is kind of interesting. Kel said, I give Far From Home 0.6795 squared over 6.6795 squared. So you give it a 1. Well, it's not that you give it a 1. Sorry, I actually tried to divide it. You give it a perfect score. John Mason said lol, and then he said lol, Kels. I agree. Then Matt said, Jet, you're doing a very poor job of hiding Mysterio is the villain. If you guys saw the trailers for the movie, then you know the villain are the elementals. The elementals are the villains. There is shown in the trailer. John Mason said he isn't the villain though. The villain is actually. Then Ryan said, I haven't seen the trailers. Then Nani said, yep. And then John Mason said, Matthew Oliver, aka Matt. Making up names now, I see. Nani said, those the Spider Man movies suck that bad. And then he corrected it to does. Like I said, I gave it 2 out of 3 stars. It's an okay movie, worth seeing. Not the best movie in the world. Slow start, picks up in the middle. That's my spoiler-free review of Spider-Man: Far From Home. John Mason said it doesn't suck, but it's not great. I think that's true. John Mason said the visuals are worth seeing. I'd say the fucking like middle to the end of the movie is worth seeing. To be honest, if the movie kind of started at that part, where they have the big reveal and went forward from there, I kind of would be all right with it. I feel like the context for the things that happen before it are explained by the things that happen after it. So if the reveal was how the movie started and you were like, "What?" I think over the course of the movie it could just explain itself out. Like if you missed like the first like 20 minutes, I don't think you'd be completely lost. I think you'd be able to be like, "Oh, oh, oh," and like pick up on shit over time and probably have a good time. Not gonna lie. Then Matt said the elements are Mysterio. Then John Mason said definitely. Nani said, "Are you gonna check it out or was good?" Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm trying to not fall behind in the live chat, so I'm reading through stuff before I pull anything up. Kel said, "How about everybody who hasn't seen it leave right now and watch it? Break into a theater if you have to." No, I would not advise that. Excuse me. Matt said, "Or we could just spoil the movie anyway, or you could just watch it whenever, just whenever you want to go to a movie theater." Excuse me, hiccups. Nani said, what if the hater hates it? Matt said, everyone here has either watched it or don't care. Also, Matt, you mentioned that you were a big fan of like the Iron Man films and that you would watch all the Iron Man movies and that you would also watch all the Avengers movies. Are you gonna go see Spider Man? Because it's not an Avengers movie and it's not an Iron Man movie. I mean, it has a lot of Iron Man related stuff in it. So I feel like if you're a big Iron Man fan, it would make sense to see it. But at the same time, if you're like, no, if he's not like in it, then it's not worth it, then I also understand. Ryan then said, I care. Kel said, I think the movie was godly the entire way, but I understand if you disagree. Interesting. I'm glad that Kel's vibed with it so hard. John Mason said, Matt, you should stop. Then Matt said, I only watch Avengers based Marvel cinematic movies. You also watch the Iron Man ones. John Mason said, but you watch Civil War, Matt. Matt then said, so I can't hate a movie I won't watch. And he said, Civil War is basically an Avengers movie. John Mason, how did you know Matt saw Civil War? You called him out. You were like, fuck you, you saw Civil War. Matt didn't even say anything about Civil War before. And then he was like, you Phoenix Wright that evidence. How'd you know? And Civil War is basically an Avengers movie. It's weird that they were like, that's Captain America 3. It's like, no, it isn't. It's essentially the third Avengers film. And in my opinion, probably the best of the MCU movies. I really like Civil War. Now, I do feel weird because Endgame was pretty good, but I feel like I like a part of Endgame. I feel like the fucking time heist was really good. I fucked with that a lot. Um, and the final fight of Endgame was really good. Like if it was just that, good ass movie. But I feel like everything else wasn't necessarily bad, but those aren't the moments that stick out to me. You know what I mean? The time heist was the real adventure, and the final fight was actually pretty sweet. Even though I feel like it was kind of unrealistic, I think they could have easily beat Thanos. Like when it was like Thor and Iron Man in Captain America versus Thanos, and Thanos doesn't have the gauntlet, they should have like beat his ass like very easily. I don't really know how, because Thanos is a good fighter, but Iron Man has lasers that can just cut people in half. Thor has a hammer that only he can lift, so if it falls on you or if you try to catch it, you're just stuck on the ground. Captain America can't really do too much with just his shield. So I understand if he maybe took a L, but yeah, that's about it. Pretty much just Thor and Iron Man could have fucked up Thanos. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. John Mason said, "No, it's not." I have to agree with Matt. Civil War is basically an Avengers movie. John Mason said there is no Avengers in that movie as they broke up. He's like, the Avengers split as a team, so how can it be an Avengers? It's just two teams, right? It's just two Avengers teams fighting against each other. Speaking of which, when are they going to do that? We currently don't have a West Coast Avengers team, but if we got a West Coast Avengers movie, you know they'd eventually have to do East versus West Avengers. I think that actually would be pretty dope. But we don't have two teams yet for them to do that. We also don't have like a Guardians versus Avengers thing. That also would have been kind of interesting. Like Guardians of the Galaxy versus the Avengers. Though Guardians isn't really strong enough to really stand up against the Avengers. So that probably wouldn't have been good. We need two big teams to have in conflict with each other. The Marvel Cinematic Universe mainly has the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. I think those are the only real teams that we have that like get their own movies and everything. So far. John Mason said Nick without spoiling. Then Ryan said Captain America 3. Then John Mason said I didn't like the whole hammer and shield scene in Spidey as well. Hammer and shield scene in Spidey. Hammer and shield scene. You lost me. I don't know what you're referring to. Matt said Avengers broke up, but all the Avengers were there, so and Iron Man. Um, and then Ryan said Hulk and Thor weren't there. That's true. They were doing Thor Ragnarok. I personally don't like Thor Ragnarok because I feel like it's a shitty Planet Hulk movie. I would have just preferred a good Planet Hulk movie. Nani said, "Is it godly like Nick or godly like Matt's hatred?" The god of Matt's hatred, Devil Matt. Dun, 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 dun. The personification of all of Matt's inner darkness. Dun, 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 dun. Kel said the only reason you don't advise it is because you're a lame, responsible adult and because it's illegal, said Kels. Ryan said Captain America 3 is not an Avengers movie. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I feel like Captain America 3 is definitely enough to be an Avengers movie. Not only does it involve like a large ensemble cast of heroes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and gathers them together and has them both going up against essentially each other. But you know, I don't see how it wouldn't be an Avengers movie. Everybody who was in that fight eventually ends up becoming an Avenger, but isn't necessarily to start with. Like Spider Man isn't an Avenger, Ant Man isn't an Avenger, Black Panther isn't an Avenger at that time. They all eventually become Avengers. I still think it qualifies. I think it qualifies more than a Captain America movie. Cap is definitely important, but so is Tony. I feel like they both are pretty important in that film. So I feel like it's still kind of. I feel like it works better as an Avengers film than it does as a Cap film. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. Where the fuck are we? I'm so far back now. This is what I was afraid of happening. Matt said Civil War is like the best Marvel movie. I agree. And he said, is Captain America 3 solely because of Bucky? See, they do have the whole Bucky plot in there, but I feel like the Bucky plot, in large part, is just like a part of the villain's plan. Like, I still don't think it's fucking Captain America 3. Baron Zemo is essentially trying to wipe out all of the Avengers. Like, the plot of the movie is Baron Zemo wants to have all the heroes fight each other. I feel like that's an Avengers movie plot. It's not like the villain of the film is like, I'm trying to dick solely Captain America. Not saying that a villain has to specifically target one character for that one character to be the villain of the movie. I mean, to be the main character of the movie. But it's the villain's whole plan is to wipe out all the heroes, and all the heroes are involved. I just feel like that constitutes an Avengers film. And they're not just involved for a little bit of it, they're involved throughout the whole movie. Imagine if Civil War was called Black Panther Civil War. And you could be like, what? That sounds crazy. But it's not. Civil War establishes like how Black Panther becomes the king and what his first mission is as Black Panther. And in the end, he's the one who arrests Baron Zemo. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Because I feel like you could easily just like pick a different character and just be like, well, if you think about it this way, they could just be the main guy. And it's just weird. It's just really weird. Let's see. Ryan said Civil War is like the best Marvel movie. I agree. Oh snap! So yeah, are we all in agreement on that? That Civil War is just kind of the best one. I feel like Endgame was good, but Civil War was pretty up there. I don't know. And then Ryan said, but it's not an Avengers movie. I don't think it's focused enough to be a Captain America movie. I don't think it keys in on Cap enough to make me be like, this is a Cap movie. But I also feel like it could have been like an Iron Man movie if they wanted. Like it could have been like Iron Man 4. I feel like it'd be a stretch if they were to say it was Black Panther 1. I think it probably isn't Black Panther 1. That being said, I do think Black Panther is like one of the only characters other than Spider-Man. Cuz Spider damn it. Cuz the movie is also kind of the starting point for Black Panther and for Spider-Man, but the difference is that Black Panther actually gets the bad guy in the end where Spider-Man does not. Like if Spider-Man at the end was the one who beat Baron Zemo, you could be like, "Damn, that was kind of a Spider-Man movie." I don't know. Matt said the like in my comment was silly and unneeded. John Mason said the villain in the new Spider-Man is one of my favorites in the movies of the MCU. He said I want to see X-Men versus Avengers. X-Men versus Avengers happened in the comics, but I didn't actually read it. Um, I heard the event was kind of weird. Um, a really good comic for seeing superheroes fight each other. A DC comic that you might be interested in. Countdown Arena. It involves huge multiversal force pulling heroes from throughout the multiverse and forcing them to fight in like a big ass coliseum. And it's about the heroes trying to escape while being forced to like battle each other to the death. It's actually a pretty good book. I'd recommend it. You can find it online at readcomiconline.to or potentially at a bookstore near you, and probably also just on Amazon. Ryan said Great Lakes Avengers question mark. So I've heard of the Great Lakes Avengers, but I think they're their own team. There's also the US Avengers, or USA for short. There are actually a lot of different Avengers teams. There's A Force, which is like an all female Avengers team. They hinted at A Force in Endgame, but I feel like if they did an A Force versus the Avengers movie, there are just too many Avengers now. Maybe if they did A Force versus like Guardians of the Galaxy, it would work. But then Captain Marvel, I think, on her own could probably dick all the Guardians. So that also is kind of a mute point. We need two balanced teams, please, to fight it out in a movie. Because even Civil War to me, I don't think was balanced. Like the two teams facing off against each other. Me and my friends were like, yo, if Vision does anything, then the sign that Vision is on should win. Like if Vision participates in the fight, he should just fucking goot. And then they purposely made Vision not do shit in Civil War, except they let Scarlet Witch push Vision into the ground, not in the fight, but in the scene where she's like, I want to leave the house, which is stupid. Um, but Vision in the big fight doesn't do anything except fuck up. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you for not letting Vision do anything because he just would have turned the tide of the whole battle. He just would have literally just fucked everyone because he's great. John Mason said, also, what's Avengers Annihilation going to be about? That's apparently the name of the next Avengers movie. Um, is that confirmed? Does anyone have a link to confirm the name of that movie? Matt said Guardians versus Avengers sort of happened around the start of Infinity War. I'd say yes and no. I don't think it was like an all out fight. Civil War had like both sides going at it for an extended period. Um, Infinity War didn't have that. John Mason said when his web shooting wasn't working, he improvised. He said, that's all I want to say without spoiling it though. He said, Ryan, you forgot me. I am the godliest. I am the godliest God. I don't know why you said Ryan forgot you. Nani was the one who made the God comment. Ryan then said, what? Kel said, why can't we all agree that In-Game and Far From Home are the best MCU movies ever with no flaws? They're just the most recent ones. I wouldn't say they're like the best ones ever. John Mason said, is Deadpool an X-Men movie? Yes. Yes, it is. Nani said, Nick, you lacking my art is still not on stream. That's because I'm falling so behind in the live chat. My apologies, Nani. I'm going to try to keep up if I can. Ryan said, Captain America Civil War is a Cap and Tony Power Hour featuring the Avengers. And I understand where you're coming from. It does feel that way. A matter of fact, Captain America Civil War feels more like a Cap Iron Man movie than Thor Ragnarok feels like a Thor Hulk movie because it doesn't. It's a Thor movie that has Hulk tacked on, and that's fucking stupid. Also, New Hulk is best Hulk. I gotta say, the best interpretation of Hulk on screen in a movie, period, that I've seen in my entire life is fucking In-Game. Avengers In-Game Hulk is the best Hulk. I can live with him. He's better than all the other ones. I'm ready for a movie that features Hulk heavily in it. Let's fucking go. In-Game Hulk is so great. Where were we in the actual live chat? Um, Kel said, I think Deadpool is Deadpool and Friends movie. Is a Deadpool and Friends movie. Deadpool definitely is within like the X-Men film continuity, which is weird, but fair. And then Matt said, but it mainly focuses on Deadpool. Plus, the first Deadpool is more or less almost entirely Deadpool. It has Colossus in it. It has Colossus from the X Men movies, like from the. What are you talking about? It's the same Colossus. And then he said, I'm slightly curious what's going to happen with Deadpool currently. Did anyone see Dark Phoenix? Because I know I didn't. I sure as fuck didn't watch that movie. John Mason said, let's call it Split Vengers. Kel said, I think In-Game is the best one in my opinion. Like I said, for In-Game, that time heist, eh. That final fight, eh. The rest of the movie, like most of In-Game is okay, but it has its moments that are like, damn. You know what I mean? But we're just talking about our opinion. Like, it's totally fine that In-Game is the best one in your opinion. I'm just more on that Civil War. Hey. Let's see. Then Kel said John Mason. Lol. Um, John Mason then said, sorry, Kels. I gotta say, I really didn't like that one much. In-Game just wasn't my type for me. My brother didn't like In-Game. He said he actually liked Shazam way more than he liked In-Game. Then Matt said, In-Game was sort of not great. Like I said, it has its moments. John Mason said, for once we agree, Matt. And then Matt said, I mean, Fortnite was referenced, so. And then John Mason said, it's on the list of movies, though. It is indeed a movie. Ryan said, am I not posting the link? I'm scrolling backwards. I just don't see a link, Ryan. I have it set on live chat, so it's not gonna not show your link. I just don't see a link. Kells then said, John Mason, I feel betrayed. Then John Mason said, lol. He said, well, I am a con man. Then Kel said, top 10 anime portrayals, number one. And then John Mason said, oh, gotta go. Later, guys. Have a great night, fellas. And he said, well, Kels. Catch you later, John Mason. Thank you for tuning in. It was great to have you. Hope to see you next time. Kel said, John Mason's epic betrayal. He said, I didn't see it. I heard it was trash. Didn't see. Kels, what did you not see that was trash again? And then Matt said, yeah, I would say Shazam was better than Endgame. Interesting. Matt then said, no. Top 10 anime betrayals is getting hit by Makoto's Unblockable. I don't know why, but this Powerade low key tastes like secondhand smoke. It's really weird. It has like an aftertaste that tastes like fucking carcinogens. And it's been really fucking with me. I wasn't sure what it was, but as I have continued to drink through this bottle, it's just kind of like you get the lemon lime taste, and you're like, yeah, I'm fucking with it. And then suddenly you're like, fuck, did I like, what happened? I don't know what's wrong with this drink. Kel said, Shazam is my favorite movie, but tell your brother his opinion is garbage and he deserves to die. I would not want to see Jeff's brother reveal. Shame on you, Kel. the hard knock. Nani said, huh? Secondhand smoke, lol. Then Matt said, maybe stop drinking it? I still need to be hydrated, Matt. That's the thing. I think it's just an aftertaste thing, though. I don't think there's actually anything in it that's bad or that's not supposed to be. I just think it's an odd fucking, just a weird flavor. Nani said, what is Shazam? And he said, hello, Nick, my art. I need your criticism. I got you. Then Matt said, get water. You know how much water I've drank today? I've had like, I think 3 bottles of water today. Like in a row. And also, I try and only get 1 Powerade a day. This is my 1 Powerade. I'm already halfway through it. That wasn't as bad. That didn't have as weird of an aftertaste. Matt said, so drink 4. We ran out of water bottles. Why do you think I stopped at 3, Matt? Nani said, nah, Ben 10 Alien X is better. Then Shazam? Shazam, by the way, is a DC superhero who has the abilities of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gods. That's kind of his power. Then Matt said more. He said tap water is an option. That's true. This is my 1 Powerade for the day, though. Nani said 6 gods. Sheesh. Yeah, every letter in his name represents a different god. Well, that's not true. 2 of the letters aren't gods. It's like the strength of Hercules, the speed of Hermes, the like endurance of Atlas or some shit, the lightning of Zeus, the also Dad's home. I can't remember everything. Matt said the wisdom of Solomon. Oh, that's the first S? The is that the first S? Let me look up the Shazam acronym. Emont said Jesus versus Santa Claus. Who wins? I'd say Jesus. Nani said that's dope. Actually, what is the Shazam acronym? Ryan said looks like I couldn't post the link. Yeah. So it's the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the either the endurance or the stamina of Atlas or something like that. The lightning of Zeus. I don't remember what he got from Achilles. I really don't.
And something about Moses, right?
No, the speed of Mercury. What would he have gotten from Moses? To like splitting water?
You gotta be like, you gotta take it and use biblical names. Like,
We already have Solomon in there.
Well, you need to. Solomon's a good start. What's the biblical name starts with an H?
Who has like a power?
Didn't have to be a power.
Why not? Also, Solomon gets to take the S spot, but we have like Samson. There's like just a guy in the Bible who has powers who starts
We
with
already
S.
had Hercules.
Hercules not in the Bible?
Oh. Well, so you prefer Samson to Solomon?
Well, Shazam rarely ever uses that wisdom of Solomon thing. It just kind of gets lost on him. You know what I mean? But he definitely uses that strength of Hercules. You know, I feel like he needs an equivalent. Ryan said, "Looks like I couldn't post the link." I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know why. Then Matt said, "Jet, you must learn the Mesorum lore." So the lore of your D&D character. Excuse me. Kel said Jesus wins. He can turn water in Santa's blood into wine and kill him. Excuse me. That makes sense. Matt said, "I feel like we are just discussing the Manus Day lore now." That is a reference to the first Jank Heroes campaign that I did but did not stream. Emot said, Hercules versus Hulk, who wins? The current version of Hulk can't die and can literally be like severed into pieces and then reform himself. He can like regenerate from being like a severed head. He got hit by a weapon that was like concentrated solar energy that left him as like a dried up corpse and then he came back to life. I think Hulk just kind of dicks Hercules. That's all I'm saying. Nani said, after I'm done with my drawing, I can draw you. Oh, that's cool. And then he said, as Alien X with Beth as Ben's sister, Megan. So, Ben doesn't have a sister, if we're talking about Ben 10. 2, his cousin's name is Gwen. 3, please don't draw my girlfriend as a Ben 10 character's cousin if I'm supposed to be the Ben 10. That just seems weird. um, Ben actually has a significant other that he ends up with at the end of Omniverse. Um, I think her name's Kai. Yep. And then Nani said, lol, I was just kidding. Understandable. He said about the Beth part. But here is Kai Green from Ben 10. She actually is able to wield the sword Excalibur. But she's kind of cool. Kel said, oh, Jet, we should do the death battle thing. You can choose the first character. Yeah, I'd be down. Then Beth tuned in and said, what the fuck? And then Matt said Sakura. So Nani was talking about drawing a picture of me as Alien X and you as Gwen from Ben 10. And then he was like, oh, I was just kidding about the Gwen part. I do think the Gwen part would have been weird. Um, you could do her as like Charmcaster or like Lucky Girl or something like that if you wanted to do like a cool look. I mean, Lucky Girl is still technically Ben's sister, but it's more an outfit than anything. It doesn't have, and it's not his sister. You got me saying that now. Lucky Girl is technically Ben's cousin, but the outfit doesn't have to match the person. Charmcaster would be the safer bet, though. Matt then said Sakura. Uh, oh, do you want Sakura to be a character in a death battle? She's probably gonna lose. Also, Kels, you want us to do a death battle thing? We have like 2 minutes. Um, Fine. The first character is the character that I've been wanting to talk about. Power Down, the new villain I came up with. He has 2 powers. His first power is that he has precognition, so he can see into the future, and there aren't really limits on his precognition. Um, and then his second power is called Hero Killer Homing Blast. It's something like that. I think it's Homing Burst. But the way that the power works is as soon as he fires off the attack, his opponent's abilities are negated and they can't use their powers until they're hit by the attack. And the attack pretty much just kills you. So that's what it does. Like if it hits, you're probably gonna die. Now you're not gonna die instantly. Um, Maybe if you got hit by 2, in a row. Like if he shot twice, but if you got shot by one, you'd be like pretty much on death's doorstep, actively dying. And those are his powers. So who do you think would win? Versus whoever you want the second person to be. Nani said lol. Emot said Hercules versus Mr. Incredible. What's like the best Hercules strength feat? Because Mr. Incredible is pretty calculable. We could probably just calculate what's like the best strength feat he's ever done. Matt said Sakura is strong. That is true. She is strong. Kel said Hercules wins. You're pretty sure Hercules would take Mr. Incredible? What's the best Hercules feat? Like what has he done? I don't know Hercules' feats. Ryan said Kells because I can't post the link. Watch the video, the best comic movie of all time. Ben from Canada. Ben from Canada. Nani? Also, it looks like we got to tune out from the stream. But real quick, I'm going to read all the stuff that was posted at before 9 p.m. to 9 p.m. So Nani said, "You haven't seen my drawing? Next time I do the vlog, hit me up with the drawing like really early on, and I should be able to get to it." Matt said Sakura can stop time. What? In the future, please explain that further, because I don't know where you're coming from. Emot said Sakura could kill anyone with one punch. I don't think that's true. Ryan said by Mr. Sunday Movies. Oh, that seems like something I might be interested in watching, Ryan. Or you could share that video with me. Beth said Meep. Nani said you mother F. Emot said Matt. No, she can't. Then Matt said Jet. Can we explain why Power Down exists? This seems very dumb. Don't worry, we'll be able to go into that in the future. But thank you all once again for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I do these live streams. Your friend, your boy, Jetblack the one only, logging out. Peace, guys, and peace.